Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Shooters Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, at Post at 323. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. You can follow us on the socials at Shooters Lounge 3. And also, you can follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Tonight, we've got a returning guest. He was on the similar time last year, I believe. He'll correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. But we've got returning Geraint from Orlando Magic UK. Welcome back, bro. It's good to see you again, G.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was about this time last year, and it's the same sort of story with the Magic. So I'm sure we'll get into that in a second. But thank you for having me back. I love the show, and excited to be back on, mate.
No, it's good to have you on, bro. It's good to see you again, mate. It's a lot changed in 12 months, mate. But your Magic fandom never wanes, even in the dark days of January, February, right?
That's right. That's absolutely spot on, my friend. Yeah, we don't miss a game still. Unfortunately, we're not winning as many as we'd have liked. So, But we've had a good season in terms of, I got out to Orlando in October for opening night, saw 3 games. And then, of course, we've had the London game just happened this January at the O2, which was great.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like you say, maybe I think, you did a podcast just before the season started. And I think, the expectation for the Magic was kind of sky high, G, was it not? I think you were looking at that top echelon of the Eastern Conference, right?
We were. I guess we still are, Matt. Looking at where we're at the moment, we sat 24, 22 in 7th in the East. And let's be honest, the East isn't, the juggernaut East that, what it could be. Nothing like the West, certainly. But we're only 4.5 out of 2nd, 2.5 out of 4th, just home court. And I know it's there every season, but touch wood, we don't have injuries, and we've had a lot. Franz Wagner's out at the moment with an ankle injury. We've just had Mo Wagner back from a torn ACL. Paolo's been out. Jalen Suggs has missed 20 games. So until you get to see, your core 4 or 5 play meaningful minutes together, it's difficult to know what you've got. But we've seen stretches, but it's just a little bit too inconsistent at the moment. So, we're still hopeful. We're still hopeful. I think that's the thing. You don't get too high, too low in the season. End of the day, you get to the playoffs, you make the dance. Anything could happen. Granted, you'd rather have home court advantage, but if you don't have it, you just got to nick one on the road and then just take care of business at home. But certainly with the talent that we do have, we added some great assistant coaches. You just mentioned there, how excited we were, getting Joe Prunty in, who's got a couple of rings, God Shamgod from Dallas. Again, really good assistant coaches that, we hope that would take us to the next level in terms of assisting Jamal Mosley with offensive schemes, etc. Perhaps that's not quite come to fruition as yet, but there's hope. There's hope, and we live in hope.
Always, mate. Always. We're not like you say, G. I think there's a lot of people in the the media, the ESPN landscape, and Magic should be pressing the panic button. Doesn't sound like you're at that point just yet, mate. Would that be safe to say? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was watching something the other day, and people are talking about trading Paolo Banchero for shooters. You're thinking, you cannot be serious. We've actually hit gold on a draft lottery. We got first pick. We've picked Paolo. He is the guy. You don't just jump on him because we've had a rough run. You look at the injuries. Granted, we made the acquisition of Desmond Bain in the off season, and I love Desmond Bain. He's absolutely brilliant. He's given us something on the perimeter that we lacked before. Somebody you can give the ball to, he can drive, get his head down, get to the basket, finish. He's a very capable 3-point shooter. I think he was third best in the league last year at 40% clip. And 40 this year, I think he's shooting about 32, 33%. So we'd like that to rise. But you make that acquisition, we've traded our chips in. This is our play. So we almost need to, hope that it all comes together. We signed Tyus Jones, thinking, a backup point guard. I don't know what your feelings are on Tyus. He's very capable. But he struggles on defense, and he really gets picked upon. And we've seen him struggle, so he doesn't get meaningful minutes. I think he's averaging only about 3 points per game at the moment. So the
he's
bench
had some DMPs, hasn't he? I think as well. Last few games as well, right? So once you're at that liability, that it's not a good sign, is it?
No, it's not. Certainly not.
I had the Tyus Jones experience last year because he was on the Suns. And it was like you hear about this assist to turnover ratio and you think, great, that's brilliant. That's, but then it's the fall you get on the other end. And is that assist to turnover ratio worth what you're losing on defense? And I think, it got old. It got old pretty quick, bro. I think to say, mate.
I can imagine. Yeah, absolutely. But when he signed, I was thinking I can get a Magic jersey with Jones on the back, number 2, and I was thinking I'll get it on the City jersey. And then he started the season pretty badly, and I thought, no, do you know what? Actually, I won't bother. I'll get Tristan de Silva instead. So that's what I did.
Is that it? Yeah.
I did that.
I mean, a lot of people have been on about Banchero, bro. I'm hearing a lot of, Magic are better when he's not on the floor. And that, to me, is like a classic example of people who don't watch the games. Because how can you be better with... I mean, I don't care what the stats say. Sometimes you have to have the eye test, bro, don't you? And it's like you're watching the games week in, week out, which you are every however many nights a week they play or whatever. But... you kind of the eye test. Obviously, you're going to be better with Banchero on the floor, aren't you? But like you say, injuries, so rotations are all over the place as well. Definitely doesn't help. But when you look at his stats, it's like, he's averaging 4 or 5 less points a game than he was last year.
Yes, he is.
So, and then people start going, oh, right, okay. But if you watch the games, which I'm sure, well, you do, I'm sure that you're not in the same sentiment, are you?
No, absolutely not. And the issue, what we're finding on social media at the moment is Franz's numbers is better than Paolo's. So you're almost at that Boston argument, which they had a couple of seasons ago with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And, they've learned to coexist. You get 2, options at the wing who can do a bit of both. So people are looking at Franz's numbers compared to Paolo's numbers, and they're jumping on Paolo, etc. But you have both of them on the floor, and you're dangerous. You're extremely dangerous. And you add Desmond Bain in to that mix. Jalen Suggs on the defensive end, coupled with Bain, and then we've had a big jump this season from Anthony Black.
Very much so, mate. Really impressive, mate.
And to be honest with you, I wasn't a big Anthony Black guy, and the Magic community, have a bit of a laugh and joke with me because I'm obviously Team Markel Fultz, as you could probably see if you're watching it on the video.
That's true, mate. I've you keep tweeting about him now every now and again, G.
I do. He could really do a job for us.
There's only one man who can help us now.
Save us, Obi-Wan.
Love it,
man. That's the gift I use.
Anthony Black's been a real surprise. From somebody like me who, no offense, mate, I don't watch the Magic night in, night out kind of thing. Seeing it from afar, that was I kept hearing, we can't play Anthony Black. He won't be, playing meaningful minutes in a playoff game. But I think this season he's taken quite a jump, hasn't he? So has it turned you around then, G? Or have you been turned around now, in your opinion, bro?
In fairness, yeah, no, he was always good defensively. He would do things in good stretches.
Yeah.
Offensively, he'd have these blips. He'd go missing. He'd do a silly turnover, silly pass here or there. And I'm not gonna lie, I was first to jump on it because I was like, no, I'm a Markel guy. But
Yeah. Yeah.
in fairness, he's come in this season now. Obviously, with the injuries, as a starter, he's averaged about 20 points a game. His defense is pretty special, and you can see, a 6'6" guard. He does remind you of a Penny Hardaway back from the late '90s in terms of what he can do on both ends of the floor. Just needs to get a bit more consistent. His jump shots got really good now. There was one move yesterday. He was in the corner against Miami. He drove, turned back, span around, come back, and hit a three, which was absolutely magic. So,
Yeah.
yeah, more of the same from him, please. So, but going back to the season, we've had a good NBA Cup run. Went 4-0 in the group.
Yeah.
Obviously beat the Heat again, little brother. I think we're 4-0 against them this season. We've got to play him 5 times. So I'm
Oh,
sure
wow.
I'm sure young Daniel will be loving that. But we have lost to some bad teams as well. And, no
Yeah.
disrespect, but, we shouldn't be losing to the Bulls twice, the
No.
Wizards, the Hornets twice, the Hawks
Hornets was one.
twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
You
the
know,
Hornets one the other night where they basically just ran you out the gym kind of thing.
oh, they did.
And
They did.
it's
And,
like, oh man, yeah, that's a tough one. Tough one to swallow as a fan, isn't it, that,
oh,
bro? Yeah.
absolutely. That was the first game back following the trip to London and Berlin. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're going to be a bit leggy, but
Mm.
we just expected a little bit more of an effort, I suppose.
Mm.
So you look at like 5 or 6 games there, push it the other way, and you've
Yeah.
possibly got a 30-15 record, which looks a lot healthier and probably puts you in the 2 bracket, 2,
Yeah.
3
Hmm.
with the injuries. So, like I said, if you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. We can beat any team on any given night, as most NBA teams can, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, all is not lost. Just yeah, the defense has struggled this year. I think last year we were second in defensive rating,
Yeah.
in and around the 109 mark. I think we've slipped this year to middle of the pack, something about
Yeah.
115. And obviously our defense drove our offense with fast breaks and easy buckets,
Yeah.
etc. The pace
Yeah.
has slowed down a lot this year, and without a point guard who's great on the dribble, like Mark Elfoltz, I will add that. You
Yeah.
know, the ball stopped moving a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's kind of disappointing given what we were expecting, bringing in Joe Prunty and God Shamgod to assist with Coach Mosley. So
Yeah.
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, like you say, it's like your defense was what you were known for last season, and then you started this season, and it was totally different. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, obviously, I think in the playoffs last year, it kind of it become your undoing, didn't it? Unable to score on offense down the stretch of games and things like that. So you addressed that, didn't you, by getting Bain in, who's somebody who can create his own kind of offense and things. So there's another kind of scoring punch there. But then, yeah, the kind of defense kind of went a bit away to start the season, didn't it, bro? So it's that kind of catch off, isn't it? Is to,
yeah,
we might need to let a bit go on the defensive end if it means we're scoring more points, which you're definitely scoring more points now than you were, aren't you? So, it's having that kind of counter lever thing, isn't it? That you kind of hopefully to win a title, they say you need to be top 10 defense and top 10 offense, don't you, to win a title?
you do.
That's usually where we're at. Like, do you know what I mean? So, it's, you've kind of let the defense go a little bit, but also you saw scoring more. But, I think it might help you in the playoffs. I think, mate, if I'm Detroit or the Knicks, who are the 1-2 at the moment, I don't want to face the Magic in the first round, bro.
No.
If that's my reward for finishing first or second in the regular season, you get Magic round 1. Oh, great. Thanks for that. Yeah, cheers. Where's the reward in that kind of thing? That was like a similar one that Philly where Philly finished in the play-in, didn't they? Was that
It
last
was,
year or the
yeah.
year before? And like, is that your reward? Is you get Philly round one? That's shit, that's it's not not a welcome proposition. I don't think any team will really want to face this Magic team in early on. What do you think, G?
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. And you look at these standings now. Obviously, you mentioned the Pistons first, Knicks second, Celtics third. They're punching, if we're honest. Especially without Jason Tatum.
Absolutely.
Toronto again. That's the Cinderella story of this season. I'd quite happily take Boston or Toronto in the first round. Cleveland are very dangerous, very dangerous.
They've turned it around, haven't they, after a slow start, which, it's kind of what you can look to, mate. There's still time, isn't there, for this? People are talking like this. It's a total disaster for the Magic. But like you say, a few games here and there could have gone the other way, and you kind of right up the table. I think you did the right thing in the summer, G. You took the big swing. You didn't play it safe. You're looking at the East, like we did, on the Shooters Lounge season preview, looked at the East and gone, mate, this thing's wide open, bro, for somebody to take it. And I thought, Magic would end up being one of, the top three teams. And like, it's there for taking. They've made a big swing.
Give it time, Matt. Give it time, mate.
Yeah, I'm like you, mate. I'm not pressing the panic button just yet.
No.
That's for sure. And I think if you can get everybody healthy, you're never the same when Suggs doesn't play. I think he's the heart of your team.
He is. He is.
You are not the same when he doesn't play. He's kind of your defensive leader, isn't he? And he drives that home, doesn't he? Kind of got to keep tight on the defensive end and stuff like that. So you're never the same when he doesn't play. Like you say, get everybody together and get this rotation kind of ironed out. You'll have injuries on the season. It's such a long season, man, isn't it?
Yeah.
No team goes through the season they've had no injuries. I mean,
no.
You were lucky with the Wagner thing. It didn't look great when he landed on his ankle. I thought, oh my God, this does not look good at all. I don't know what you thought, mate, at the time, but you're like, oh damn, what the hell's going to go on here?
We thought that was our season.
It did not look good, mate. It did not look good. So you got lucky with that in a way, mate. It wasn't a long-term injury.
We did. Yeah. No, absolutely. But in fairness, we're not the only team to have a lot of injuries. I can certainly pick a couple of other teams, and they've struggled. Your Pelicans, Sacramento Kings, the Indiana Pacers. Boston have got Tatum, but they've played probably the exception to it. But there's been a lot of injuries in the NBA this season. Jimmy Butler a couple of weeks ago for the Warriors. Although talking about trading him, I'm not going to. Who's going to trade for him? 36-year-old guy who's done for the season.
Only some team who's just willing to eat his contract and just not be good because he's not going to play anyway. That's the only. But who are you getting back for that? You're not going to trade him to another contender because you're not getting him, are you? You're not getting Jimmy Butler. You're getting Jimmy Butler, but you're not, kind of thing. It just makes no sense, does it? Like you say, it's a strange one. The Giannis thing is lingering over now, the trade deadline, isn't it? Willie or Wenty, because they're struggling, aren't they? Even though, for me, I think Giannis is still the best player in the East, for me. But they're still languishing in 12th place, so it doesn't always breed success, G, does it? So
it doesn't. No. They pushed all their chips in as well. Obviously, the Lillard trade backfired, and then obviously they've stretched his contract, so they're paying him for the next 5 seasons or so. And they brought in Miles Turner, and they're 6-7 games under 500, and languishing in 10th. So
yeah, tough one. See, so they made a big swing, and it didn't work out. And you're in a better position than Milwaukee are, mate. That's for sure.
We are.
So who do you think the best team in the East is? I mean, I don't know if you've seen every team yet this season, G, but who's the kind of ones who's impressed you the most? Would you say?
I'm just trying to think who we haven't played. Detroit are solid. In fairness to them, The Cavs, we played them twice over the weekend. They've drafted very well. They got a guy called Tyson. He just won't miss from three. And Donovan Mitchell, my gosh.
Man's on a tear, isn't he? Absolute
He
tear.
is absolutely superb. So the Cavs will be dangerous, especially, they're missing Garland at the moment. They're missing Max Strus. I think Toronto will fall. I think Boston will fall back. The Knicks are always dangerous. I don't particularly like playing the Knicks.
Why is that, mate?
Something about Jalen Brunson. He just winds me up.
He's very frustrating to watch if he's playing against your team. Yes, I would definitely say that, mate. Yeah.
James Harden 2.0.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So no, in fairness, the Pistons, the Knicks, it'd be there or thereabouts. The Cavs, possibly the Sixers if healthy. They drafted well, getting Edgecombe, and obviously Maxey can flat out ball if Paul George stays healthy, and then Embiid, former MVP. You got four solid pieces there, but if they can stay, there's a lot of ifs and buts on the Sixers, but they're getting on a little bit. So I'd say it's probably between 4 or 5, but I would probably put the Magic in the mix with the Sixers, Cavs, Knicks and Pistons to come out of the East if gun to my head.
Okay. Yeah.
How about yourself?
I feel like the Pistons, when they get to the playoffs, I think watching them in the regular season, I think Cade bails them out a lot. And I think in the playoffs, people are going to be like, we're going to double Cade, mate, and we're going to make somebody else beat us. And I'm not sure who that second guy is for Detroit. Good regular season team. They compete hard, don't they? They got Durant and Stewart, who don't take anything from anyone, and they're kind of that similar echoes to maybe an older kind of generation Pistons team. Cade is he's a monster. Like you watch it, he's massive. Like dude's huge. He's such a big dude. You forget how big he is sometimes. I just feel like they haven't got that second guy. Who's going to be that other guy who's going to... Because you look at the roster and you're like, it's all a bit... It's a mixture. It's a really balanced kind of roster, apart from Cade. But I think when you get to the playoffs, teams are going to take the best thing that you do away from you, aren't they? And then it's going to be, what the second, third, and fourth things you do. And I don't know if Pistons have got the firepower to get into those later rounds. I feel like there's teams underneath them that do. New York do, Cavs do. Philly, like you say. And your guys do too. You've got people who can any night just go for like 25, 30. And I don't know if the Pistons have got, other than Cade, I don't know if they've got that other guy. That's my worry if I was Detroit. Maybe they've got to move in him. I don't know, mate, at the deadline. Maybe they've got to move in him. I don't know. But as they stand, I don't know if they've got the firepower to kind of get through. But you never know, mate. I mean, Boston, I didn't think Boston would even be in the play-in at this moment, mate. So, I mean, they've exceeded expectations, haven't they, for sure? And Jaylen Brown's just been, like, ridiculous, hasn't he, this season? It's just showing everybody that it wasn't just all Tatum. I think it got a little bit of a point to prove, hasn't he? And sometimes you need that motivation going in, isn't he? Like, oh, okay. You think we're going to be no good? I'm still here. And he's kind of showing him. I kind of worthy all-star, mate. I think that's pretty safe to say, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like saying Cleveland have kind of made a slow start, but now they're kind of, getting, this is when you want to start peaking now, isn't it? It's these kind of dog days in January, February, getting to the all-star game, isn't it, G? I think that, teams are kind of like thinking, looking for that kind of week off, maybe just to reset, and then it's kind of a sprint then to the playoffs, isn't it? So, yeah, but I mean, Toronto's definitely, like you say, the surprise. I didn't really see them guys being fourth. I mean, well, they could be second if results go the way on another night, kind of thing at the moment.
They could, but they come into Kia Center on Friday, so they'll be going home with a loss, hopefully. So
that's it. Then we'll be playing that song, G. We'll be playing that song, bro. So,
good man.
That's what it's about, mate. That's some of the best things, mate. When Magic win, mate, that's the favourite story, mate. But,
sticks in your head, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. It's a classic, mate. Classic. I'd say, but I'd say who the best team is. If I had to give an answer, I'd probably go with the Knicks. I think the Knicks are probably the team to beat at the moment. But they're kind of struggling 5-5 in the last 10, so they're not kind of firing at the moment. I don't know if people have turned on Karl Anthony Towns, but is this just the dark days, like I said, in January, where people just don't really know what, getting a bit crazy with some of the headlines and stuff. But yeah, like I said, people are talking about Orlando. There's talk of, is it possible there's a coaching change? G, were you in that kind of camp, or are you just kind of staying a bit level-headed at the moment?
I'm trying to stay a bit level-headed, if I'm honest, Matt. But there's times where you really question some of the decisions that you see from Coach Mosley. Some odd rotations. We just see a lot of one-on-one basketball, inconsistencies. Then there's this talk about, does Mosley get on with Banchero? Lots been said about that, but I think he came out yesterday and said, no, I don't know what you're on about. That's probably the politically correct answer. But a lot of guys in the Magic community have been calling for Jamal Mosley's head. And there's a couple of decent coaches out there, to be honest with you. A lot of guys like Michael Malone from Denver, or used to be Denver. I quite like Taylor Jenkins myself. Obviously, he coached Desmond Bain in Memphis, and he's got a lot of time from him, from what I've read. But I can't see anything happening, if I'm honest, Matt. During the season, there'd be too much, upheaval, turmoil. The Magic brass are always quite conservative and will let things pan out and deal with things in the off season. That's what we've found. You won't see, many trades or anything like that. Not like some other teams, they're trigger happy and pull the trigger on anything. They're a lot more astute and just bide your time, just grow organically. So yeah, it's a difficult one, because he really has sort of brought the Magic back in the last 4 seasons, instilling this defensive mindset. But like I said earlier, going from second in defense to 14th, 15th in the stats, and it's really showed on the floor as well. So you just wanted to get it back to where it was before, and we did see a little bit of it last night against the Little Brothers. So yeah, let's hope it comes back.
Yeah,
you like that, don't you?
Yeah, I think. I think you forget sometimes. Just you just forget sometimes what the dark days used to be, and you think, man, to think where we are now. Sometimes you have to think, we've come quite a way, and you kind of, when things get tough, to kind of make a change straight away, it kind of sometimes reek of desperation, doesn't it, G? Sometimes
it does a little bit, yeah. So yeah, it's a steady ship normally, the Magic. We just need to get everyone back, get the rotations right, and obviously with the assistant coaches in play, hopefully we can finish the season strong and make a run. Ideally we're looking to get out at least the first round of the playoffs, if not make some noise in the second, or get to the Eastern Finals. Otherwise it's going to be a disappointing season.
Yeah, for sure. Like I say, the East's wide open, mate. So somebody, I mean, look what the Pacers did last year. Making it all the way to the finals and to a Game 7. A team could come, from, them lower seeds and definitely make a run in this East, because I think it's wide open, bro. I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's every chance, and yeah, you mentioned there the Pacers. You look where they are this season. It just shows the fine lines of this game, and how as a bounce of a ball, inches makes a hell of a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate, absolutely. You probably answered this a little bit already, G. But do you think, the Magic need to make a move in terms of maybe personnel? I know obviously you're pulling for your guy Markel Fultz to make a return. But any other thoughts there, bro?
Well, the issue is here we've cashed in all our chips on the Desmond Bain trade. Obviously, sending 4 unprotected first-round picks. Cole Anthony, Contavious Caldwell-Pope in the off-season, and a pick swap as well, I might add. So it's a whole treasure chest for the Memphis Grizzlies. So in terms of draft capital, I think we've possibly got 1 pick left now and a couple of seconds. So in terms of, sending picks out, that's not going to happen. And then in terms of contract situation, we extended Paolo, so he's going to be on the max rookie extension, which I think is going to be about 41 million next season. Franz is already on that. Baines, obviously, like I said, signed. He's 36 million a season. He's got about 3-4 years. Very happy with Bain. So I'm only just throwing out the numbers just for context purposes. Jalen Suggs got extended following his rookie. So that's another 30 mil. So between 4 of them next season, you got 150 million on the books. So you're in, territory where you're almost handcuffed a little bit. Then you throw in the fact that Anthony Black's making a bit of a push. He's on what 7 million this year, 10 next, and then obviously he's going to need an extension. How does that look? So in terms of shall we make a trade? I think that the 3 the 3 likely ones are obviously Jones, who's making 7 million on an expiring 1-year deal. Jonathan Isaac, he's making 15 mil, and he's been riding the pine really in the last couple of weeks. Although we did play last night against the Heat, and he was very, very good. So 15 million there. So it depends if somebody has got a disgruntled star, etc., or just a role player. You think about the Sacramento Kings, perhaps they might have somebody there. What's he called? I can't remember his name now. Point guard Malik Monk, for example. He might want out.
Yeah.
Perhaps a trade for him. I don't know. And then the only other one I guess we could sort of flip is maybe Jet Howard, who's just had his rookie extension sort of declined. It does mean we can match him, but he hasn't really done enough for me. He's had the odd game where he can shoot, but he was a bit of an odd pick back in the draft a couple of seasons ago. He was supposed to be the shooter. I wish we'd taken Hawkins myself, but so you're looking at those 3. So it all depends who's out there. If I'm honest, if we move Jones, I'd probably be quite happy with that, and then we can sign number 20 to fill that role. But is it going to happen? No, wishful thinking for me, I think. So yeah,
you're wishing it was happened, rather than reality.
I wish I was the GM. Yeah, but it's all interesting about
it's the first move you'd make, G.
Yeah. It's all interesting about Giannis and where he may go. Well, what's your thoughts on that, Matt?
Where I think Giannis will go?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody really who has what they want back for him. I don't think there's anybody who's got the assets. I think they want a few young players and a lot of draft picks. And I don't know if there's any team. Well, I mean, there is some teams that do have that, but it's whether they want to get rid of that. Like OKC aren't going to be thinking, let's get Giannis, because they don't want to break up what they've already got. I think San Antonio will be the same. They're sitting 2nd, 3rd in the West, so I don't think they're going to break up what they've got. So I don't really see where he's going to go, to be honest. I don't really see it. So I don't think he's going anywhere, G, to be honest. I think he's staying where he is. I think that's it. And then, I think he'll be in the last year of his contract next year. And I think if he wants to leave, he'll leave in free agency. Because I don't think anybody will be willing to give what they want for him. But obviously, when you reach a final year of your contract, it's that standoff, isn't it? Sometimes you see it in football and stuff. It's like, right, okay, do you sell him now at a discounted price, or you let him leave for nothing? And I think that may be where they'll get to next year, and you end up getting Giannis on a discounted deal, which would be very nice for whoever gets it.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking into this, and I was thinking, you're looking at teams like the Pistons, the Rockets, potentially the Wolves, as sort of the main three, perhaps. I mean, you could chuck in the Warriors there, but they haven't got the assets, and Milwaukee's not going to take on Jimmy Butler. The Hawks have got Porzingis, and they've probably got some draft capital. The Pistons, then, what if they traded Tobias Harris, a couple of young players? Then you put Giannis with Cade already at the top of the East. Again, that would make them favourites then. The Rockets, then, would they trade one of the Thompson twin with somebody else who's young, perhaps, and some salary filler with some picks, maybe? Then you put KD and Giannis together. I can see potentially one of those, if anyone. That's just, I'm not getting 2K out and going on the trade machine, but just trying to think outside the box, But I can't see us. We're not going to certainly do anything unless they want Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter Jr. with Jet Howard as a sweetener. And you're laughing. They're good players,
I don't.
I can't believe you're laughing at me.
No disrespect to him, mate. no disrespect, bro, but I don't know if that's going to get the job done. I'll be honest.
No, I don't think
Call
it
me
will.
a cynic.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're debunking the kind of notion that that the head coach is not up to scratch. Are you still a believer them in Mosley, bro?
I'm on the fence, if I'm honest there, Matt. I can see the benefits of a different voice in the dressing room. Has Mosley got the most out of them? Perhaps. Are they still sort of listening to the same messages? I don't know. It's a really tough one. I don't like hiring and firing willy nilly like this. So you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But if it was coming down to it, I think Taylor Jenkins would be a great fit in Central Florida. But as always, we'll soon find out.
No, I mean the Jenkins, the link to Bain. Obviously, he played for him as well, and I think he was a fan of him, wasn't he? It kind of just
he was.
It's a kind of might be a good fit, mate, isn't it? Do you what did you think of the rumors? Then you mentioned it earlier about the rumored, Banchero Mosley rift. Have you noticed anything like that when you're watching the games, or is that just something that somebody's just kind of made up out of thin air, like?
A couple of the interviews after, I'm one of these saddos who watches the post-game interviews after most games, just to sort of see, it's my team, isn't it? It's my team. And they've kind of gotten a little bit more focused on, perhaps, that we're not in the right scheme or whatever. Then there's been a couple of clips where, they have a timeout, and at the end of a timeout, we see Magic on 3, and half the players aren't even going in for the fist bump, that sort of thing. And maybe it's just it's just one of those things. In fairness, Paolo never looks that happy. I don't know if you've noticed it. His just demeanor just looks like he's just a little bit miserable. I mean, what's it to be miserable about? It's very hot in Florida. There's no state tax. You get to play for the greatest team in the history of basketball. What's there not to like?
What's your problem, bro?
Exactly.
I don't know. Perhaps he's just a laid back guy in general, mate.
Exactly. And I think what the media are like. They just write anything about anything. So but winning solves everything. So get some W's now, and it all started with beating the Miami Heat yesterday. So shout out Daniel on that one. 4-0 this season.
Oh,
I can't wait for him to message me after this.
I'll have to remedy that. Oh, I'm sure he will.
Yeah. In fairness, we got to meet Dan. So I was out, obviously, in Orlando. I'll tell the story anyway. We were in Animal Kingdom, me and my family, and Mikey and his family, obviously, part of the four of us, Orlando Magic UK. And Dan was in town, so he'd been to see the Heat, and then he travelled up to Orlando because there's nothing else to do in Miami, and he came to the theme park and in his Miami jersey. So we went to see him outside the Festival of the Lion King. So we had a photo with him. So Mikey and I kindly covered his jersey for him, just so he didn't get beat up by the locals. He's a good lad, Daniel. He's a very good lad.
You had to go all that way to meet Dan, though.
I know. He wouldn't come to London last week.
Oh dear. Well, speaking of London, Dan, excuse me, G. You were at the O2 in London for Sunday's game, Magic and the Grizzlies. You had a bit of a get together with some fellow Orlando Magic fans. How was your experience down there, dude?
Oh, we did, yeah. So obviously they played first and foremost in Berlin, so where the Wagner brothers are from. So I know from speaking to a lot of the Magic guys that went on that trip, and a couple of friends who did both games. There's a Magic podcast, a 6-man show that they did both of them. So we met up with them. But yeah, superb. So myself and a couple of others went down on a Saturday. Obviously, the game was on the Sunday. So we had a big I say big get together. It was about 25, 30 of us on the Saturday night. Went to a small little pub, watched a bit of NFL, just everyone in their Magic jerseys. It's just great just to be amongst a lot of people like me, just having a beer, having a pizza, a burger, just talking basketball and nonsense and whatever else. And then on a Sunday, so yeah, they had this event called NBA House. So we went down to NBA House to see that. It was pretty busy, and there was big queues and lines on each sort of station. So you'd have different things, try and do a dunk on a low rim, have take free throws, try and make so many in certain time. There was a 2K thing. Mo Moonsey was there. So that was pretty cool. And then we had a big get together ourselves. So as Orlando Magic UK, we always, even if it's a game that doesn't involve the Magic, we'll try and get, if it's at the O2, we'll go down to TGI Fridays. God, it was over 50, 60 of us there. So we had a good group photo. That was cool. Dante Marcatelli, the play-by-play guy, came to see us. But we had people there from a couple from the US. Shout out Yadi and Cortez, who come from Orlando, who are absolutely fantastic. But people from Belgium, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, obviously England. It was really good just to get our little community, because we've got a WhatsApp group. It's got over 50 of us in there, and there's people who watch games into early parts of the morning. It's just getting to meet them. I just have a beer with them. You know what it's like. Just nice just to go to the pub, have a drink, talk some nonsense, and watch a basketball game. But let's not talk about the basketball game, because that was awful.
You had a nice day, and then it ended all on a bit of a whimper, wasn't it, I think? Yeah.
We had a nice day. We started drinking at midday. We went to the game at 5 o'clock, and then we started drinking again at 7 o'clock until pubs closed at 11. That was it. So, good time was had by all there, Matt.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Drink the pain away, mate. Drink the pain away. That's the best way. Alcohol helps.
Definitely. No, but in fairness, the NBA put on, they put on a lot of stuff.
I'd really like to have gone, mate. I tried to get tickets myself, but couldn't. It wasn't successful, unfortunately. There seemed like there was a lot of empty seats there. Gee, was that safe to say?
The pricing, the pricing was awful. Absolutely disgusting. I was in a nosebleed seat, in the upper tier, probably fourth row. And I paid £240 for my ticket. If I go to the Kia Centre, I can sit pretty close to the floor for that with free booze and free food. So it's no surprise really people didn't pay it. And they really need to look at that because obviously they've got a game in Manchester next season, and also I think Paris, and then I think the following year they're in Berlin and. Or was it Paris again? I'm not sure. Either way, London haven't got a game for a while, which is a shame. But hopefully we'll get down to Manchester next year and have another little magic get-together. Whoever plays. So, no, that should be good. But in fairness, the NBA, they organise a lot of stuff in and around there was a lot of player interactions available. I was lucky enough to go. Mo Moonsey, in fairness, let me know that there was a Nike Mind shoe launch. So we went to one of the Nike stores, and Desmond Bain and Anthony Black were there. So got to sit in on one of those, sort of press conference sort of things. So that was awesome to meet them. But all in all, together, it was all about meeting the other guys. That was the best part of it. And I forget about the game because we got absolutely drilled. So it happens.
Well, you won the Berlin game, didn't you, G? So it was 1-1, didn't it? But it'd have been nice to be at the game that you won, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
It would. But unfortunately, that was the home game, the Berlin game, and it kind of makes sense with the Wagner brothers and Tristan da Silva, obviously the German-born players. But hopefully, if they've got another game in Berlin next season or the season after, sorry, it might be us again. And next time, I will go to Berlin.
Oh, is that definite, mate? Yeah.
Oh, if the Magic are in Berlin, I'll be there next season. But this year, obviously, I haven't been to Florida and then doing the London one. It was just a little bit too much.
Expensive hobby, bro, isn't it?
Yeah, the bank manager wouldn't be very happy with me. So
I can imagine not, mate. But like you say, it's just nice just get together. Then people you kind of talk with online and you've never actually met them in person. To meet them in person, finally, must be a nice experience, man. And to get was it more Magic fans than Grizzlies fans? I can imagine at the game. I'd say it seemed like it was about 80% Magic. I don't know if that's right or not, mate.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. The Memphis jerseys you normally did see were sort of kids. And that's probably due to the fact the Magic have been in the league longer. Shaq Penny era and then the T-Mac era, whereas the Grizzlies, you're not going to see many. I'm just trying to think. Bryant Reeves jerseys from the late '90s. Mike Bibby,
some Zebo,
some real retro.
Back in the day or something.
Yeah, I know. Grit and grind.
Oh yeah, well, that's the one. I think the Magic do better jerseys, I think, as well, don't they? I think. Designs and stuff, mate.
Well, there's the new jerseys that dropped. My gosh, they're a thing of beauty.
Did you get that on the day, G, or did you wait a couple of days?
No, I got it when I was in Orlando in October, didn't I? I had to get it from the team store so I could get the Disney patch on there. So
of course, I mean, why would you not? Bro?
Absolutely.
The O2 looks it looks like an NBA arena, isn't it? You look at it when I was watching it on the on League Pass, obviously because I didn't go to the game, but it looks the part. It looks like an NBA arena. It does look, and the facilities are there and things like that. It does look the part, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a decent arena, and obviously, I don't know if any the listeners have been there, etc. But there's some restaurants all around it, like your TGI Fridays, your Las Iguanas, etc. There's even a Wetherspoon, which I didn't know about because that would have saved me a lot of money. Um, before you get into the sort of main part, but the queuing system to get in left a little bit to desired. It wasn't the best. It was a bit of a, we left the pub about just before an hour to go, and it took us a good 35 minutes just to get in. Queuing systems and the checks and all that sort of stuff. So that was a little bit disappointing. And our American friends who were there said, this is really bad. We haven't seen anything this bad for a long time. So. But in terms of the arena, it holds enough people. I don't know if there's another arena in the UK who could, seat that many.
I think it's one of the biggest indoor arenas in Europe. I think the O2. It's got to be up there. It's about 18,000, is it? I think.
Yeah,
something like
that was it. Yeah. And part of the top tier as well is kind of you don't have the full circle, the bowl at the top. Obviously, it's just the way it is. So. But it was pretty steep. It's pretty steep.
yeah, absolutely. You just wish it'd be full, though, wouldn't you? You kind of rein back that price a little bit, and you fill the place out, and then it becomes more of a thing. Because watching it on TV, obviously, when you're looking at the court, you can see like that first kind of tier, can't you? When you look at games, and you see a lot of seats empty, and it was just like, what a shame. Because I can imagine that the upper tiers would have been full. But then the tiers that everybody can see on TV were not full, and it just seems a shame because then if somebody's looking at it going, "Oh, they aren't that bothered then, are they? Why is nobody on the game?" And it's like, I needed to remortgage my flat to.
You were looking at between £500 and £750 just to be on the in the lower bowl, and there was one guy who did, I think it was on TikTok, and basically he said. You could fly to Orlando, get a ticket at Kia Centre, have a hotel, and fly back for the same price it would cost to watch the Magic in London. So that tells you everything you need to know, really. And London's good, but it's not the Kia Centre. It's not.
Well, I mean, it's mecca for you, G, isn't it? So, I think they just missed such a great opportunity. They were pushing this NBA Europe agenda all week, and then they had a magnificent opportunity to fill that arena and to, this is what it could look like, great and stuff. And I just think they missed a great opportunity, and I don't really know why they decided to do that. Because if the prices are that much in this NBA Europe League that they're going to get going, people aren't going to go.
Oh no, they're not. They're not. Hey, here's a question for you: if London had a team, would you support the British or London team?
Probably not, no.
No, absolutely not. No way.
Oh, no, if it meant giving up the Suns, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. So, no, like you say, I don't know if they're doing it to try and leverage the Euro League to be in partnership with the NBA. I don't know if they're actually got an idea in mind to do an NBA Euro League. I think they're floating the idea to think that they are, so they force the Euro League's hand. Personally, that's what I think they're doing. To make the Euro League go, oh man, we need to partner with the NBA, or else they're going to start this NBA Europe League. They're going to take some of our teams. So I think they're trying to force the hand. That's what I think's happening. I have no actual facts to base that on, and I haven't been told.
No.
But that's my take. That's what I think.
Decent
they're trying
theory.
To do. So I don't know if it's true or when's it meant to be? 2027? They're meant to get this league up and running. They've got a lot of things to do before then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Arenas to build and teams, players and things like that. So, it's not going to be the product that the NBA is it? Because of the talent, So what is it? What is it going to be then? So they say they want to be in partnership with the Euro League and have it to run alongside. I don't know if I believe that.
It'll probably end up being some sort of like the G League, like a different division of the G League, won't it?
Yeah. Or do they want the Euro League to be like a feeder kind of, like you say, like the G League, to kind of feed the NBA or something? I don't know, because, how the MVPs have gone over the last few years, they've all been European players, haven't they? So
they have.
I just think they missed out on a good opportunity to refill that arena. It'd have been a real occasion and stuff. But like you said, I'm sure you had a good time anyway. regardless of the result, mate. But like you say, just making them connections that you probably wouldn't do. Everybody's going to the same place and things like that. So it's nice to kind of, see. Did you see anybody else there who you hadn't met in person before?
Well, we did have a Magic get together in Mansfield. It was just about a year and a half ago now. So we just got together. We played some pickup basketball in the rain in Mansfield. Went for a few beers and went for a curry, which was really good. Yeah, it was just nice to get together and seeing everybody a week Sunday ago now gave us the kick that we'd like to do something like that again this summer. If there's any Magic fans who aren't following us or want to be added to the WhatsApp group or more than welcome. Everyone's welcome, and we look forward to chatting Magic basketball with you, sort of thing. So
absolutely. It gives me good motivation when it's your team playing down there. It's like, oh, I've got to go now, kind of thing. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that's when you end up. Then that's when you end up paying £250, isn't it? Because you've got. I've got to go.
I couldn't miss it. Couldn't miss it. Couldn't miss it. That's it.
That's the thing. They've got you then, haven't they?
They do.
What to think they know that, don't they?
They do.
It's the commitment, G, and it's the commitment that you've pledged to the Magic, man. That's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah. Gotta be done.
Absolutely. So, any final words, G? How do you think the season's going to end for the Magic?
I think we'll be in and around. Sorry, my light's gone, but that's not. My bulb's gone. Can you imagine?
Oh wow!
Unbelievable. Couldn't happen at a worse time. I think we'll, it's floating around between the 4, 5, 6 mark, dependence on injuries, and if Jamal can get us playing properly again, then and then it's all about the playoffs, isn't it? Like I said earlier, I'm not getting too high, too low about results in the season, maybe like what I did in the past. The expectation is more now, so it's all about the playoffs. You could go 82-0, but it doesn't mean a thing if you lose 4 games straight after that.
Doesn't mean a thing without the ring, G, does it? That's how the saying goes. Yeah, absolutely. But regardless what happens, you'll be there till God knows what hour in the morning watching.
It's got to be done.
That's the price of US
sports,
isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely. But before we head out, G, do you want to tell the people where they can follow you on the socials, bro, if they want to get in contact with you?
Yeah, no problem. So my personal best place is X or Twitter. And that's at Geraint. That's spelled GERA and then the number 1 NT, and obviously at Orlando Magic UK for the more team stuff.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Go give him a follow, guys, because it's never a dull moment with G. He's hastily tweeting away as the game goes on. Moaning about the refs usually, which is always. I
thought I'd go a whole podcast without that being mentioned.
Sorry, bro, I had to do it, mate. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Go give him a follow, guys, and go give Orlando Magic UK a follow because they do some great stuff, and we'll see how the season progresses, and I'm sure the guys will be back soon, I'm sure. But it's great to have you on again, G. Thanks a lot for taking the time, bro.
Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Pleasure, mate. Maybe we'll maybe have you on again sometime down the road when hopefully the Magic will be in the playoffs, dude.
Anytime you want, my friend.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So I'm Matt at PostUp323. So guys, keep an eye out on the socials at Suitors Lounge 3. This podcast will be available video podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or you can listen to it on Spotify or listen to it on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. So stay tuned for the socials, and I'll tag G in it as well, and hopefully he'll share that out to his followers as well, which I'm sure he will. Thank you very much, mate.
Of course, anytime.
Cheers, bro. So we'll be back again, guys, with another episode very soon with another guest showing the love of NBA. So take care, guys, and we'll see you again very soon.